All right, followers, so now we're going to be looking at front boleos. So we had this back boleo option where we're keeping it on the ground. We're going to stick with that one for the moment, and we're going to move to our front boleos. So the back boleos we'll do in another video, and in the front boleo, there are different ways to do this, but there's kind of the most common and popular way that I'm going to show you, and I can show you some of the other styles that have been kind of taught around the world over time. But I'm going to start with my favorite. So the first is as if you're kind of in a seated position. So what you want to do is just bringing one foot over the other. You're going to find your left knee kind of in front of your right knee. And then at this point, you want to pick the leg up. And as you bring this leg up, you're thinking about backwards with that leg. You don't want to create space here like this. You want to send this leg backwards. Almost as if it'll put pressure against this leg, almost as if it's going to straighten that leg out. As you do the boleo, try not to let that leg straighten. You don't want to let this hip go back and let that leg straighten. So you're going to come through and create that by pushing back and pointing your toe. So you want to try and not flex your foot, but point your toe as much as you can, whatever your ankle allows. So we'll come through, point, come back down and around. There's a process to this, and when it happens when you're at maximum twist. So if my hips twist to maximum away from my chest, then my leg will go around and create the boleo. I'm going to come down on the same side. I'm going to come around my foot, collect, and then pivot back. So I want you to try this process. We will pivot, send the leg around, create the boleo, come down on the same side, around your foot, collect, and then finally pivot back. You don't want to pivot back early. Make sure that you get your foot back to around that collected place before you start pivoting. All right, so if we were doing this in an ocho, I would take this ocho and then pivot, boleo, down, around, and pivot back. You can try this on both legs. What's common is the left side. The right side does exist, and so you should do this as well. So you'll bring the foot around, push back, down and around. Bring the foot around. Remember, have your standing leg bent, and we'll send back, down and around. The position that you're going for is like if you're seated in a chair and you had your legs crossed. Excuse me, I don't have a chair, but as you're sitting in a chair and you have your legs crossed, maybe you might be relaxed like this, but you want to think about having it kind of straight down. So when you stand up, you have more of the leg going backwards, going back, behind, and not outwards again. Yeah. So always thinking about keeping the legs close without space or gaps here, and without a lot of gap from your foot to your leg. Try to bring it close to your standing leg as you're going backwards and not opening. All right. So work on this. It's easier if you don't have a partner right now to go to a wall and use that for stability, and then pivot, make the boleo, come down and around. All right. And once you're ready to move on, we will see you in the next video.